Yo, welcome Notorious Money fam to another Notorious Money podcast. Hope you all had a great weekend and that God has been with you during the start of this week, this Monday, and that you and your family find yourselves blessed as always. And remember, God did, but God does. Today I'm going to talk about the number one enemy to our wealth and the number one person that is impeding us from living our rich, wealthy, and abundant life. And that's the person that you see in the mirror. You see, the person that you see in the mirror every morning, he or she is the person putting up the great wall of pain psychologically, mentally, and in your heart. See, a lot of us are depriving ourselves of living a rich, wealthy, and abundant life right now because there's this arbitrary number that has been created, age 65, age 67, a number that was created by God. Oh, no, never mind. God never created that number. God never said anything about 65. That was the government or the system that said at age 65, after 40 years of work, you need to retire, and then that's when you can start living your rich life. You see, that is just full of BS. Like, why would you want to wait and deprive yourself right now? You see, the moment that you are in right now, the phase of life that you're in right now is the time for you to live a rich life, an abundant life, a life of wealth. But so many of us are sacrificing and depriving ourselves of that life because we're waiting to hit age 65, all the way over here, to start living our rich life. But what about everything in between? What about all the goodness that we can do? All the positive change that we can give in our communities? All of the gratitude we can show? All of the charity, every single activity that we can do, the fun activities, the memorable activities, the activities that have nothing to do with the numbers in a spreadsheet or the numbers in our bank account. The activities that bring us fulfillment and that help us live a rich life. But how do you live that? Right now, number one, you have to realize that you have to be completely honest with yourself. Completely honest with yourself, and completely honest with yourself in the fact that you don't know all the answers. You don't know anything. So many of us think that just because we were told from our parents and we have implemented their strategies with money, we have listened to their theories, their hypotheses about how to deal with money, so many of us have, without maybe even noticing, just automatically live the same lives that our parents have in regards to dealing with our money. So, how do we knock down that great wall of pain so that we can live our rich life? Is number one, knowing that we do not know jack, that we don't know all the answers about money. So, right now is the time to learn the basic financial strategies that can help us control our money and live a rich life. But even before executing those strategies, we have to know the theory and the why. What is our why for money? And what are the things that give us fulfillment? See, so many of our parents and our grandparents have listened to many money experts such as, and I'm going to name drop them, Dave Ramsey, whose number one strategy, even though he says it jokingly, and I love Dave Ramsey, gives great advice. He's like a father figure to many. He's helped a lot of people, done a lot of good. But when he says your number one money plan is you have to live on rice and beans every single day, I'm going to pass on that. See, that's terrible financial advice, especially when we're talking about the United States healthcare system. A healthcare system that costs so much, and to eat healthy organic food, it costs more than eating cheap garbage. So many of us in the US, medium income families, will scratch and serve and try to save money on food that is junk food, canned food. I mean, when Dave Ramsey says, go eat rice and beans, he has to be responsible in knowing that many of you are going to go to the store and buy beans from a can and then maybe even instant rice. That a lot of you are so lazy that you're not even going to make your own rice and not even going to make your own beans from scratch. Because long term, that's going to be detrimental to your health. And you might save some money right now, pennies, But in the future, when you have health problems, the cost of your health and taking care of yourself in the future when you're older will way far more be more expensive than the cost of your pennies that you're saving right now on rice and beans. So that's number one. Erase the previous money psychology that you have that's obviously giving you some pain right now. And when I say pain, maybe it's just the discomfort, the stress, oh man, I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses and I can't do it fast enough. I don't get paid enough. All of these limiting phrases and ideologies you have to get rid of in your mind right now, especially in the 21st century where so many of us have the opportunity to make income and have access to almost everything we want. So, how do we start right now to be in being able to live our rich life? I've talked about gratitude. I've talked about giving on this podcast and on this show. And 2 tips, two stories that have impacted me in being able to realize what's step number 1 in living a rich life and in changing my habits. Most businessmen, most successful businessmen, always have open door policies when it comes to feedback and criticism in their endeavors, in their organizations. Why? Why is this? It's because they know that they really, at the core, even though they might have to set aside their pride, they know for a fact that they don't know everything. The companies that are very successful, the businesses that are very successful, listen to feedback to the people who are doing the work, the people who are in the front lines. They have an open door policy and they listen to people no matter what their stature or position is in the company. The leadership and the business owner is willing to listen and give an ear to all feedback, whether constructive or even criticism, because he knows if he hears the same criticism or the same feedback over and over again, then there is something that he's doing wrong. So he has to put aside his pride and be open to having that feedback, to have a place where he could document that feedback, and then after listening to all the different opinions, being able to act on that and maybe give way, or opening his mind up to the possibility that other people might be right and what his previous beliefs are just completely wrong and false. Those are the successful businesses. So for us as individuals running our money scheme, our wealth, our rich life, our money, we have to realize that we have to be open to all ideologies, to all type of money advice. Maybe a little bit of Dave Ramsey, maybe a little bit of Ramit Sethi, maybe a little bit of all the YouTubers online, Robert Kiyosaki. You have to get a little bits and pieces of everything, because in one way or another, they are right, but what works for you, and then why? What is most important to you? And before you jump into spending or using your money, investing it for the why, remember before that you have to be able to learn how to give. And when you give, you also learn to receive. And when you receive, you can then turn around and give more. Like I was saying, the business owner who leaves that open door policy and receives this feedback cheerfully can then go back and give the best version of his business, or the best version of himself, or the best product to his clients, and give the best environment back to his employees in his organization, making the business a happy place, a place where people are heard internally and externally. And then let's talk about the importance of giving found in this passage and story in the Bible. When Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, he told them the story of the rich man and the beggar named Lazarus. The rich man had an abundance of wealth and riches and food, everything in his property. And outside, at the base of his house, outside of his gates, lived a beggar named Lazarus, who had sores, pain, and who felt hunger every day of his life. The dogs would come and lick his sores, and all he would want is just to eat a couple of the crumbs that would fall from the table of the banquets of the rich man. Years passed. When both of them passed away, when the rich man opened his eyes, he was in hell, looking upward into the sky. When Lazarus, the poor man, the beggar, woke up, he was in heaven, in Abraham's bosom. The rich man asked for the grace of God to be able to have another opportunity and go back to heaven and go to heaven with Lazarus. But Abraham told him that his time was up, and he did not magnify the time he had when he had the opportunity every single day to give to Lazarus and to help him and to be charitable. Every single day Lazarus was outside of his gate, and not once did the rich man help him. Now, whether you believe in heaven or hell, I'm not here to question that or go into any of that with you guys. But what I do want to say is that if you do learn how to give now, when you have all the riches that you want, that you will get, you will be able to amplify that habit of giving tenfold. And because you do that, you will be compensated with a wealthy life, a rich life. By giving to others right now, you can knock down the wall of pain and learn how to give now, and learn to give in abundance, rather than save and deprive yourself of living a rich, wealthy, and abundant life and depriving yourself of giving to others. So remember, fam, God did, like Khaled said, but most importantly, God does, and he will do for you. It's your boy Adrian, Notorious Money. Talk to you guys on the next episode.